Hi everybody, hi every spirit, welcome very much to Ezosu Football, where we talk about football, and today we are analyzing, reviewing the Group H of the World Cup 2022. And here we have my country. I know it's not my country, but it's the country that I was born in and I support it. And actually we have a really good team. Since I was born we always had good teams. I think we always suffered from bad coaches, or coaches that wasn't really understanding the potential that we had. Because since I remember Ronaldo has been playing, and even back in 2004 when we organized the Euros and we lost against Greece, but that's another thing, because if you realize it, it's always the team that plays at home losing the final. Notice that. Portugal, 2004, loses to Greece on the final. France, playing at home, 2016, they lose to Portugal. England, playing the final at Wembley, loses to Italy. Okay? But that's for another video, maybe perhaps for another channel, which is the things behind football and things like that. But what happened on the pitch? From Portugal, we got the results, but I didn't enjoy how we played, especially our midfield. We don't have a very competitive midfield. It seems like we don't have a serious midfield for Portugal. By the way, guys, tell me the team which you support with your heart. For me, it's Portugal, and tell me the team you think is going to win the World Cup. For me, it's France or Brazil. I'm more betting on Brazil, but France is really close in my standings. Okay, I think those two have a really great chance. And then Portugal, we didn't play bad. Okay, we weren't a bad team, but we committed a lot of defensive mistakes. That's how we suffered the goals against Ghana. And then look at this. We take 2 goals from Ghana, and we take 2 goals from South Korea, but we take no goals from Uruguay. What the hell is this? Okay, what the hell is this, Portugal? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Uruguay, the best team in the group, with Cavani, Suarez, Núñez, we take no goals. Ghana, they boot the ball long. That seemed like football manager goals. They boot the ball long. We have some of the best central backs in the world. Pep, not as good as it was, but still very good. Ruben Dias, Daniel Pereira. Ruben Dias, Manchester City. Daniel Pereira is now hurt, but PSG. And then we have a great young central back from Benfica, Antonio Silva, but he didn't play on the match against Ghana. Because losing to Korea, it's a bit different because, okay, we already qualified. It's impossible for us to not get the first place because Ghana is losing. And Korea, they had way more spirit and flair and motivation than Portugal to win that match. But even though it's still a bad loss, but against Ghana, we win 3-2, and we almost suffered the 3rd goal from a keeper mistake, right? But the goals they score, it's out of nowhere. They boot the ball long. João Cancelo defends a bit poorly, but that was more astrologically and spiritually related, right? And then our central backs, it's like they play for Portuguese 3rd division or something like that, okay? But in one moment, and that's the thing that scares me. It's like Portugal can be playing very well, and then they just snap, and they make a mistake out of nowhere. But then they come back to playing super well. It's so weird. It's not like we have this momentum where we're playing bad and the other team is suffocating us. No, it's just like they forget they're playing football or something. I don't know. But because imagine we can be playing against Brazil, we can be playing against France, and we're playing well, and we might be winning 1-0 or 2-0, and then we make those mistakes and we not winning anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's basically that I'm not enjoying in Portugal. The defensive mistakes and the midfield, it's not very competitive. I don't know if it's the formation, the players that the coach brought. It's just like we lose too many balls. The midfield and the defense are not going like alongside. Sometimes the midfield presses high and the defense stays low, so the other teams can play in the middle. And sometimes the defense does press high, but the midfield goes too stretched to the sides, or they go even further, giving they're another hole, or they just like the midfield is not covering the defense as well. Offensively, we were very good with Vitinha. I really enjoyed Vitinha playing against the Korea, but on the other matches, I think the coach has been putting William and Ruben Neves together, which I don't like. It's too slow. Ruben Neves playing too much in the back. Bro, if I put Ruben Neves, I put it as close to the box as possible. Or like in a position when he can recover the ball as close to the box as possible. So take the screamers! Take the screamers, bro. Because Ruben Neves playing where he playing, and then the midfield not supporting the defense, it's useless. Because then he comes and receives the ball in between of the central backs. And that was happening a lot with Korea. Then they can bring full pressing on because there is no passing line between the defense and the midfield, because that element, which is Ruben Neves or William, whoever plays between the midfield and the defense, is on the defense right now. So I think the coach needs to fix that, fix the mentality of the team, because we have great players. We want to win. We can make goals. We can make chances. Like we scored 3 goals against Ghana. We scored 2 goals against Uruguay. We scored... How was our goal? Bro, Diogo Dalot playing so well. What the fuck? I wasn't expecting that. As well. Diogo Dalot playing so well, bro. Offensively, defensively. Son was not able to pass through him once. In the South Korea goal. Oh, that's true. Oh, bro. Oh, because 2 of the South Korea goals... No. All goals Portugal has suffered so far were mistakes. All of them. 2 against Ghana, mistakes. 2 against South Korea, mistakes. First corner, Ronaldo, one of the players with the highest jumping point, instead of jumping and having the ball, he curls, the ball hits his back, and is a leftover for a Korean player that puts it in. Second goal, Son, guys, I don't believe it, I just remember this. Son is a great player, I know, but he's in the middle of 5 Portuguese players. Nobody makes a tackle, nobody makes a fall, nobody makes a shoulder-to-shoulder charge, nothing. He's just free to pass, because then Bernardo Silva makes a great sprint, makes a great defensive recovery, but he stops in the moment where he's putting the Korean player on side. So, huge defensive mistake, huge. How is Son? Bro, and Pepe is there. Pep, he's a hooligan. He's a gangster. How does Pep doesn't kill Son immediately from the root? Cut the root, right? Pep is Pep. When you think about Pep, you don't think about a soft player, right? When you think about Pep, you think somebody that makes a tackle outside of the field, right? So I don't understand. I don't understand how Portugal has been. We took 4 goals. All were a defensive mistake. All were. And Uruguay only took 2 goals. And it was our goals. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I've ranted enough about Portugal. Positive sides about Portugal. Okay. Great right and left back. I think we're playing well. We just need to get that mentality on the midfield way better. Then Korea, they surprised me a lot when they played Uruguay on the first match. I really enjoyed how they were playing very well. Short passes, short combinations. It's a bit like Japan, but a bit less defensive, a bit more creative. But I think Japan plays better than Korea, because they're both from Asia, and they benefit from the same thing as Japan, because their players, they are not the fastest players, but they are the fastest in terms of acceleration, just like Japan. And then what disappointed me about Korea was their game against Ghana, where they played really well, but they took a lot of balls in the back. They didn't defend so well, and it's going to be a tough time against Brazil. I think they out. It's very cool that they went through, but I think Uruguay had a way better chance. Speaking about Uruguay, I think they were a big disappointment, not only in this tournament, not only in the group, but also in the tournament. They only went out because they didn't score enough goals. They only scored 2 goals as well. So you know, even Portugal make 4 defensive mistakes, but we scored 6 goals. So I mean, and the only goals they suffered was from Portugal, if you think about it. So how do they? Wait, no. Uruguay. Oh yeah, they lost to Portugal. They got a draw and they won, right? So it's really tough. It's also the type of competition that we are talking about, right? It's Uruguay is better than Korea. Uruguay is better than Ghana, but Darwin Nunez make no goals, right? Perhaps against Ghana. I was watching Portugal match, but no goals from Uruguay. And I think the way they play, they're like, I was watching another watch along of somebody else, and somebody else make this comment, which like Uruguay is the national team version of Athletic Madrid, and I hate how Athletic Madrid plays. It's just too defensive, too closed out, okay? And they just play like that, very aggressive, very defensive, and did not benefit them. Ghana is like, they could do better, they had players to do better, they played very defensive against Portugal, they got the win against Korea, they lost against Uruguay, but it's like, I'm not surprised they're out. I wasn't expecting much from them. I think they were playing too much defensive against Korea. They still won, but they wasn't playing well. Ghana wasn't playing well. They weren't playing as well as Senegal. They weren't playing as well as Cameroon. They weren't playing well as Morocco. All the African teams were playing well. I just think Ghana wasn't. I think Ghana was being the worst African team, let me tell you. They just... But they had players to do better. They were a bit afraid, I don't know. They didn't want to lose, but look at where they at. Bottom of the group. I think Uruguay is a big disappointment to not go through. I was really expecting them to go through and play against Brazil. But it's Korea that goes through with a lot of merit. They surprised me. They were a surprise to me, especially that first match against Uruguay. They were playing so well. They could have won that match. It's just like, then they lose to Ghana. It's like, what the hell? What the hell? And Portugal, let's go. Portugal played well as well. We made what we were supposed to do, which is win the group in the first place, avoid Brazil. And we played well. It's just like defensive mistakes and the mentality on the midfield needs to be corrected. But tell me what you think about this group. Tell me what you think about the tournament. And I see you soon. It's Athletic Surfer, surfing out.